Your kidneys, of all the organs in your body, are silent in a way that should honestly scare you a little. If I asked 10 people around you tonight how to keep their kidneys healthy, 9 of them would tell you the exact same thing. Drink plenty of water. Go easy on the salt. And look, they're not wrong. Both of those matter, but that's maybe a quarter of the real picture. The part that actually matters most, the part almost nobody tells you about, is what happens after you fall asleep. Your kidneys do their deepest repair work overnight, during a window when your blood pressure is supposed to drop and the pressure on your filters finally eases up. What you eat in that last hour before bed either feeds that repair process or quietly works against it. And once you're past 60, this becomes more important than almost anything else you do, because kidney damage doesn't announce itself. A struggling kidney sends no pain signal at all. By the time it shows up on a routine blood panel, you may have already lost a third of your filtering capacity. And unlike your liver, kidneys don't regenerate. What's gone is gone. Hi everyone, I'm Sarah. I'm 45, and I've spent over 10 years working in senior care, mostly in home health, taking care of older adults in their own homes. I've sat by the bed, held the hand, and heard more stories than I can count about lab results that came as a total shock. Results that maybe didn't have to be a shock if someone had explained things sooner. Tonight I'm walking you through the fruits you should be eating in the evening that actually support your kidneys while you sleep. A few of these will be familiar. A couple are going to catch you off guard. And one of them is a fruit that a lot of people with kidney concerns have been warned to avoid completely. I'm going to be straight with you about why, no sugarcoating. At the end, I'll give you a 2-minute recipe that combines the safest of these into a single glass you can drink before bed. Before I go further, if this is the first time someone has actually walked you through why your kidneys need specific support at night, instead of just the usual drink water and cut the salt, take a second and hit subscribe, drop a like on this one. And I genuinely want to know, how old are you, and are you keeping an eye on your kidney health right now? Leave me a comment, I read every one of them. Now let me explain a little bit about how your kidneys actually work, because once you understand the machinery, every fruit on this list is going to make complete sense. Each kidney holds roughly 1 million microscopic filters called nephrons. At the center of every nephron sits a tiny cluster of blood vessels called a glomerulus, and that's the actual filter. The thing that pulls waste out of your blood and keeps the good stuff in. You're born with every nephron you'll ever have. Your body doesn't make new ones. So after 60, this whole game comes down to protecting the filters you've still got. 2 forces destroy those filters faster than anything else. The first is pressure. When your blood pressure stays elevated, it slams against those delicate vessels the way water pounds through a garden hose cranked all the way open. Over years, that hammering scars the filters shut, one by one, permanently. The second is oxidative stress. Think of it as a slow rust forming inside your cells, the same process that turns a sliced pear brown on the counter. A kidney under sustained pressure with a heavy oxidative load is a kidney quietly losing nephrons, year after year. And here's the part almost nobody covers. Your blood pressure isn't supposed to stay flat around the clock. In a healthy body, it drops 10 to 20% overnight. That's your kidney's recovery window. People whose pressure fails to dip at night lose kidney function measurably faster. So the point of what you eat in that last stretch of the evening is simple. Help the pressure drop, slow the rust, and don't dump extra work on the kidneys right when they're trying to recover. Every fruit I'm about to give you earns its spot by doing one of 3 jobs during that overnight window. It delivers antioxidants that neutralize the oxidative damage attacking the glomeruli. Or it carries plant compounds that relax the blood vessel walls and encourage that natural nighttime dip. Or it works upstream, on the gut, on uric acid, or on the urinary tract to lighten the kidney's load before it ever reaches the filters. Nearly all of them are low in sugar and gentle enough to eat at night. I say nearly, because there's one important exception, and I'll be straight with you when we get there. Number 1, blueberries. This is the cleanest starting point on the whole list. That deep blue color comes from a pigment called anthocyanin, and anthocyanins are some of the most potent antioxidants ever measured in food. For your kidneys, the connection is direct. Anthocyanins neutralize the oxidative stress that scars those tiny filters. I once cared for a patient in Tucson, Arizona, a woman named Dorothy, 82 years old, who had half a cup of blueberries every single night before bed. She used to call it her kidney dessert. She wasn't wrong. Blueberries are also low in both potassium and sodium, which makes them safe even for kidneys already under some strain. Keep that word potassium in the back of your mind. It's going to come up again later in a way that changes the whole conversation. Half a cup before bed is the right amount. Frozen works just as well as fresh, and frozen berries are often picked riper, so the pigment content is actually higher. Number 2, cranberries. And almost everyone gets this one wrong. The reputation for fighting urinary tract infections is well earned, but the kidney story goes deeper. Cranberries contain a compound called an A-type proanthocyanidin, and it physically prevents bacteria from latching onto the walls of your urinary tract. That matters for your kidneys directly, because infections that travel upward are one of the real, underappreciated ways healthy kidneys sustain lasting damage. Every infection you prevent downstream is stress you spare upstream. Skip anything labeled cranberry cocktail, that's just sugar water dressed up. A small spoonful of unsweetened dried cranberries or a splash of pure unsweetened cranberry juice diluted with water is the right move. Number 3, red grapes, and the color is the entire point here. Reach for the dark red or purple varieties. The skin is loaded with resveratrol, one of the most studied molecules in aging research. For your kidneys, resveratrol calms inflammation and helps blood vessel walls soften and widen, exactly what you want as your body prepares for that nighttime pressure drop. Relaxed vessels mean lower overnight pressure. Lower overnight pressure means less grinding on the filters. Red grapes also carry a small natural dose of melatonin, the same molecule your brain uses to signal sleep. A fruit that nudges you toward deeper sleep is a fruit that helps your blood pressure achieve its full nighttime dip. Grapes are sweeter than berries, so portion matters, about 10 to 15 in the evening, eaten whole, skin and all. I tell a lot of my patients to freeze them. They take longer to eat, they feel like dessert, and they keep you out of the ice cream carton. Number 4, the apple. It protects your kidneys through a side door almost nobody thinks about, your digestive system. An apple is one of the richest sources of a soluble fiber called pectin. When pectin reaches your gut, it feeds beneficial bacteria, and a well-nourished gut sends dramatically less inflammatory signaling into your bloodstream. Your kidneys filter everything in that blood. A chronically inflamed gut floods them with a constant low-grade burden. The apple calms the upstream end of that whole pipeline. Apple skin also carries quercetin, an antioxidant shown to protect blood vessels. Peel it and you lose most of that benefit, so eat it whole. Like blueberries, apples are low in potassium. A medium apple in the evening, sliced with real cinnamon on top, is ideal. Eat it about an hour before bed so the fiber has time to work. Every fruit so far has been doing the same quiet job, cooling the oxidative damage and easing the pressure on your filters. The next 4 are where things get genuinely interesting, including one that does something for your kidneys that nothing else on this list can do, and one that a lot of people have been told they should never touch. Quick favor before I keep going. If this is the first time someone has actually walked you through why your kidneys need specific support at night, instead of just being told to drink water and cut back on salt, take a second, hit subscribe, drop a like on this video. And if someone in your life is managing high blood pressure or diabetes, the 2 biggest drivers of kidney damage, send this to them. This is the conversation that gets skipped in a 12-minute doctor's visit. Number 5, tart cherries. This is the real surprise, because tart cherries do something for your kidneys that none of the other fruits on this list can. Sweet cherries and tart cherries are a completely different category. Uric acid is a waste product your kidneys have to filter out every single day, and when levels run too high, real damage follows. It forms the crystals behind gout. It's a leading cause of kidney stones, and elevated uric acid is now linked to faster kidney decline. Tart cherries have been shown to measurably lower uric acid in the blood. That's a direct favor to the organ doing the filtering. Tart cherries also happen to be one of the richest natural sources of melatonin in any food. The same melatonin that helps you fall into a deeper sleep, and that helps your blood pressure achieve that full overnight dip your filters depend on. Lower uric acid and deeper sleep from one small fruit before bed. Use unsweetened dried tart cherries or a splash of pure tart cherry juice diluted with water about an hour before bed. Anything labeled cherry cocktail or cherry flavored is just sugar. Number 6, strawberries. They belong here for the same reasons as blueberries, plus a few advantages of their own. Strawberries are dense with antioxidants, including ellagic acid and a heavy dose of vitamin C. Together, these compounds target the oxidative stress that's wearing down your filters. They're also genuinely anti-inflammatory, and chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the engines that pushes kidney disease forward year after year. Strawberries are mostly water and fiber with very little sugar, which makes them one of the lightest things you can eat at night. You get a real antioxidant load without spiking your blood sugar and without sitting heavy in your stomach while you sleep. About half a cup to a full cup of fresh strawberries in the evening, sliced on their own or with plain yogurt. Number 7. Pineapple. Almost nobody recommends this one for kidneys, and it carries a tool none of the other fruits have. Pineapple is the only common fruit that contains a natural enzyme called bromelain, and bromelain is a genuine anti-inflammatory. It helps quiet the kind of widespread, low-grade inflammation that slowly damages kidney filters, and it eases the digestive load, which means less metabolic traffic reaching your kidneys overnight. Beyond bromelain, pineapple delivers vitamin C and more antioxidants from that same protective family we keep coming back to. Pineapple is actually lower in potassium than most people assume for something this sweet and tropical, which puts it on the friendlier side for kidneys already working hard. The trade-off is sugar, so portion matters. About half a cup of fresh chunks in the evening is plenty. Fresh or frozen is far better than canned, because canned pineapple is almost always swimming in syrup that undoes the whole benefit. Number 8, and this is the surprise I mentioned at the start, citrus oranges and their relatives. The fruit a lot of people with kidney concerns have been told to avoid completely. I need to give you both sides of this honestly. The protective side is substantial. Citrus fruits are one of the best sources of a compound called citrate. When citrate passes through your kidneys, it binds to calcium in your urine and stops it from crystallizing into stones. Citrate is one of your body's own built-in defenses against kidney stones, and citrus replenishes it. On top of that, oranges are loaded with vitamin C and antioxidants. For someone with healthy kidneys and a history of stones, citrus can be genuinely protective. So why the warning? Citrus is high in potassium. For healthy kidneys, that's not a problem. They clear the excess easily, and potassium actually helps lower blood pressure. But for kidneys already in decline, in the later stages of chronic kidney disease or on dialysis, those kidneys can't clear potassium fast enough, and it builds up in the blood to dangerous levels. Here's the rule. If you carry a diagnosis of kidney disease, or you're on a medication that affects potassium, don't add oranges or any high potassium fruit until you've asked your own doctor whether it's safe with your current numbers. For most people watching this, citrus is a healthy choice. For some, it's exactly the wrong one. Only your own blood work tells you which group you're in. Before I get to the recipe, I need to draw a clear line. These fruits support healthy kidneys and kidneys under mild strain. They are not a treatment for kidneys already in serious trouble. If you're experiencing swelling in your legs or around your eyes, foamy urine, blood in your urine, a sharp drop in how much you're urinating, or pain below the ribs in your back, those need a doctor, and soon. And if you carry a kidney disease diagnosis, or you're on blood pressure or potassium medication, bring this list to your doctor first. Food is the foundation. It's not the whole building. Let me tell you about a patient I'll call Robert. He was 71, retired after a long career as an engineer, lived in Columbus, Ohio, walked every morning, and genuinely believed his health was solid. His blood work told a quieter story. His eGFR had dipped just below the line where we start watching closely, and his creatinine had crept up. He was stunned. No diabetes, barely drank, and he'd always assumed kidney trouble happened to people who didn't take care of themselves. We didn't start with medication. We started with his evenings. Robert ended every night the same way, salted pretzels and a ginger ale in front of the news. That snacks was hitting his kidneys with sodium and sugar right at the start of their recovery window. We swapped it out. Some nights blueberries and sliced strawberries. Other nights an apple with cinnamon or unsweetened tart cherries an hour before bed. He kept his oranges in the morning, after we confirmed his potassium was safe, and he added a short walk after dinner to bring his blood pressure down before sleep. A year later, his eGFR had held steady. It didn't climb back up, because kidneys don't rebuild what they've lost, and I want to be honest with you about that. But it stopped falling. His blood pressure was the best it had been in years. For a 71-year-old kidney, holding that line is a real win. Now, the bonus. The simple bedtime recipe that brings the safest of these together in one glass. I call it the nighttime kidney blend, and it takes about 2 minutes. Into a blender, add a small handful of blueberries, roughly a quarter cup. Drop in 4 or 5 sliced strawberries. Add a splash of pure unsweetened cranberry or tart cherry juice for the urinary and uric acid support. Pour in about half a cup of plain, unsweetened kefir or yogurt, which brings probiotics for that gut-kidney connection and a little water to loosen it up. Finish with a shake of real cinnamon. Blend it smooth. It's low in sugar, low in potassium, packed with the antioxidants your kidneys want overnight. And it gives you something to reach for at night that works with your filters instead of against them. Drink it about an hour before bed. A couple of variations so you don't fall into a rut. On a sweeter night, toss in a few frozen red grapes before blending. If your stomach runs sensitive, skip the kefir and use water with the berries instead. And if you don't want to blend anything at all, a small bowl of blueberries and strawberries with a spoon of plain yogurt does the same core job. The tool here isn't the blender, the tool is the swap, replacing the late-night salt and sugar with fruit. I kept citrus out of this recipe on purpose because of the potassium issue we talked about. If your kidneys are healthy and you've been cleared, keep citrus as a separate daytime addition. Here's exactly what to do tonight. 5 steps. 1. Close your kitchen earlier. Make your last food of the day one of these fruits instead of something salty or processed, so your kidneys start the recovery window with less to clean up. 2. Pick one low-potassium fruit you already have in the house, blueberries, strawberries, or an apple, and eat a small portion about an hour before bed. 3. If you want the full benefit, make the nighttime kidney blend, blueberries, strawberries, a splash of cranberry or tart cherry, plain kefir, cinnamon. 4. Add a 10-minute walk after dinner. It helps bring your blood pressure down before the overnight window opens, and your blood pressure is the single biggest lever you have over your kidney health. 5. If you carry a kidney disease diagnosis or you're on blood pressure or potassium medication, write down one question for your doctor this week. Which fruits are safe with my current potassium levels? That one question will tell you exactly which items on this list are actually yours to use. So eating the right fruit at night is one lever. But there's another one that almost nobody over 60 has ever had checked. A single marker on a standard blood panel that quietly signals kidney trouble years before your creatinine ever moves. Most doctors won't bring it up unless you ask. In my next video, I'll tell you what that marker is, how to request it by name, and what to do if yours is heading in the wrong direction. If this was helpful, tell me in the comments which fruit you're going to try tonight, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one.